morning. I'm Nicolette Caraway. Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Telegram. I'm here reporting the daily weather live at Graham Central Station. It is sunny now, but it looks like a storm is a-brewin'. Now to Myrtle with the traffic.
Thanks, Nicolette. I'm Myrtle Wilson reporting live from Graham Avenue with the traffic report. Be prepared for some delays due to a pileup.
Ouch, that had to hurt. Anyway, I've just received some breaking news. There has been a murder at the Gatsby estate. We will be right back as I make my way to the scene. Welcome back. I am now on the scene at the Gatsby estate. The body was found on the raft and has been identified as Mr. Gatsby. The only witness was a young lady named Daisy Williams, who claims to have seen a young male fleeing from the scene. This is an Instagram-worthy moment, so get your cameras out and bring the kids. Joining me now is a man by the name of Huck Finn, who was the first person to come across the body. So Huck, can you tell me what you know?
Yes, well, a few weeks ago I was taking a trip from my journey down the Grand Mississippi River. I came upon this Gatsby fellow, and he was in a predicament. He was wanting to spend some leisurely time floating in his pool, but he had no such device to do so with. So I, being the gentleman that I am, decided to up and lend him my flotation device. I was coming back to get it today as I need to continue my adventure down the river, but I'm not so sure I want it back anymore. Someone needs to civilize that man on how a borrow one works. When I first stumbled upon him, I thought he was a faking because he didn't want to give my raft back, so I yelled, "Gatsby, I want my raft!" But he didn't respond, so then I thought maybe he was in one of those deep sleeps, dreaming about fame and fortune and whatnot. And that's when I saw it, the bullet hole. He was shot in the back, and he had fallen cold and dead. I yelled, "Oh, Captain, my Captain," and I fell to my knees. I sure didn't know him well, but he was an admirable man, and it just sort of struck me. It's a tragedy how uncivilized some people can be, killing regular folks.
It is a tragedy indeed. I'm sure Gatsby was a great guy. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me. Joining us now is a young lady. Why, you look strangely familiar. What is your name?
My name is Daisy Williams. My father invented Teddy Grahams. I live in the prestigious Easter egg. Gatsby and I were star-crossed lovers.
I'm sorry for your loss and this windy weather we're having. What do you think happened here?
Witchcraft! My ex-boyfriend, John Proctor, has never stopped loving me and tried to come between Gatsby and me. I found one of his poppets buried in the sand. It's witchcraft. The devil. Can't you see the bird? It's coming right at me.
Alright, our investigation team is currently searching for and interviewing any possible suspects. Some suspicious evidence was found here at the scene and implicates multiple possible perpetrators. We can confirm that as of now, there are 2 top suspects under investigation. We'll have live interviews with the suspects later on in our programming. Stay tuned for the latest updates regarding the Great Gatsby estate murder. Welcome back to the Daily Telegram. We are here with our first suspect, John Proctor. Authorities have confirmed that Proctor's poppet was found on the scene, just as Miss Daisy described earlier. Now, John, old sport, can you explain why your poppet was buried in the sand?
Well, I was attending one of Gatsby's notorious parties, trying to get close to Daisy. Gatsby and I ended up sitting by a bonfire eating graham crackers and marshmallows. I had my poppet sitting in my purse, and a dear friend of mine made it for me, and I like carrying it around with me. It must have fallen out of my purse when I got up to leave.
Our second suspect is Tom Joad. Along with the poppet, Daisy also found a hat at the scene of the crime, and it has been confirmed to belong to Tom Joad. So Tom, what is your side of this story? Can you explain why your hat was found at the scene of the crime?
Well, my family has just left California, and we are in search for a better life. All we've eaten are cranberries along the way. I caught the scent of a bonfire nearby and decided to investigate. I was a desperate, hungry man, weak from my travels. I did what any desperate man would do and asked Gatsby for some food, for he had plenty of food and so little company. Gatsby was a prideful man, and his willingness to aid me was lacking due to his company. I waited in the bushes until his company left, but I must have fallen asleep, and in my haste, my hat fell off.
Thank you for your testimony. We will now hear from one of the police officers on site with what they think happened to Mr. Gatsby.
We have concluded that young Mr. Gatsby was enjoying a relaxing morning floating on his pool raft. Our information tells us that Gatsby was awaiting a phone call from Miss Daisy Williams, although we have no details. Although John Proctor and Tom Joad are prime suspects, we are continuing to investigate people who spend time with Gatsby, such as Huck Finn and Daisy Williams. We have concluded, however, that Gatsby was shot at approximately 9:03 this morning.
Thank you, officer.
These are the mugshots of our current suspects.
Joining us once again is Daisy, who is here with us to discuss the important phone call that Gatsby was waiting for before his death. We are all curious about the phone call that was to take place and about your whereabouts earlier this morning.
Well, I was intending to call Gatsby sometime today. We didn't really have anything important to discuss, just everyday chat. In his mind, every conversation with me is an important one because he is obsessed with me. Anyway, this morning I was getting ready to spend time with a friend later and lost track of time. I was too busy to call him this morning. It's not my fault. He was waiting around for my call, and I don't understand what any of this has to do with his death.
Well, all right then. Well, that is a valid point. Anyway, joining us once again is Huck Finn. Officers have just informed us that Mr. Finn is cleared and no longer a suspect in the investigation. His alibi and other evidence has disconnected him from the crime.
Finally, I'm a well-traveled person. I have seen wonders of the Grand Canyon and the Hoover Graham, but I haven't seen anything like this. I'm sure glad my innocence has been proven. It looks like the storm is a-brewing, so I must be on my way before it worsens.
My sources have just confirmed that the killer is Tom Joad, and he has been taken into custody. The evidence that led to this conclusion was the picture Tom Joad posted on Instagram of himself buying a gun and a hat with #killer. Mr. Joad has a few final words for America before his final imprisonment.
There ain't no sin and there ain't no virtue, there's just stuff people do.
'Cause baby, now we got bad vibes.